Welcome to Rhythm and Roads, everyone. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. We have a very special group. We have indie pop rock trio, Selfish Bodies, which I've been looking forward to this interview for a while. So thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
Oh, yeah. So after listening to your music, I came across it with some ads on Instagram, and I just got to say, I mean, your guys' style fits what I love. I love the
Okay.
style of it has a unique edge, dark edge to it, but it has a nice pop rock feel. You know what I mean? And I love it that you guys kind of bring your music to a point that it's very like we're here to say raw stuff and we don't care and this is how it is, but we're having fun with it. And this is
It's
our
quite the
style.
compliment.
We
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man. So before we get into more of your music, I do want to get to know the story behind Selfish Bodies. So if you like to, whoever wants to start and share about that, how it all started.
I started. So Brandy and I started playing together almost 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say so.
Oh, man.
We played with another band. It was called Northly Way.
Okay.
With Colin, and then we started. So that split up, and then after that, we
That was
started.
a three piece.
That was
Yeah.
a three.
And there's more. What was the genre would you describe it as? It was more like
Um, it was lighter.
yeah.
I don't know.
Was
Not
it?
like folk, but like
Folky.
It was pretty like
Yeah, it was very
acoustic,
acoustic.
pop, folk.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then so that ended, and then Brandy and I kept on playing, and then we found some other members,
Okay.
um, a bass player, a drummer, and a guitar player. And then during COVID, that kind of fell apart, and then Brandy and I still kept on playing, and then Garrett joined the band, and that was that was probably 5 years ago now.
something like
5 years.
Here we
Awesome.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the band before was more, I guess,
Rock.
rock leaning. I guess.
Definitely way heavier rock leaning.
Yeah.
We've
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was like a five piece. And so,
yeah.
and then once we all started working together, then we got more pop, like more the way you describe the music is
Yeah.
like how we'd hope someone does. So
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And thank you for sharing the story on that. But real quick, like to the point of knowing, like after some of the band left, because you said it was a bigger band, right? Where was that point of your like, should we go to that direction of like pop with that or keep it kind of hard? Like, where was that discovery of like, should we go pop? Kind of change it up.
Happened naturally.
It just
And
happened
I
naturally.
think it was like a decision that we made. I think it was just a different sound. Playing
you
with
know what
people.
did it? Not having a drummer and playing
Oh, is that
the
that's what did
beat
it?
and making our own like
Okay.
program
Yeah.
beats that like
Wow.
definitely aided
yeah.
in that direction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we use samples and beats to get songs started and then
Yeah.
use them to practice with. And then so
Wow.
that was kind of electronic. And then Michelle started playing more synth and
Mhm.
it got poppier.
Did you play synth at all before? Or was that?
With no,
It's mostly piano
It's all
sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
maybe a
go.
little bit like electric piano sound, but
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So you play synth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
pardon?
You play synthesizer?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Juno and I have a Nord keyboard that I use.
That's cool. I'm actually big on pop 80s and 90s. I mean, I've always been big on that.
We love those
Like
sounds.
Depeche Mode, NXS, Pet Shop Boys. I mean, of course, I like heavy rock too, but something about just like I was DJing this past weekend at a wine festival, and all I
Nice.
played was 80s. I played mix, but 80s was more the top. But everything with the synthesizers and just that pop rock feel, I mean, I love it. So that's so cool that you guys are in that kind of genre as well.
We love a lot of synth bass, like a lot of our bass we end up doing with the
Yeah.
synths.
I've noticed a lot of your music is like that, and I really like that. Let's get into your first single. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Hideous?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. That
And
came
that
out.
took you guys back for a while, huh?
Yeah.
Been some time.
That's one of
this-
the first songs we made to like we learned and
yeah.
Yeah. Standing right in this room,
yeah.
we were all working on that song.
Really?
And
Okay.
we still play it at our shows. We just played it at our show a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
We've
wow.
always responded really well to it. Uh, yeah. What were your thoughts?
A little story behind the experience with your first song, like when was that the one for Selfish Bodies, right? Like the very first that you guys did?
as the three of
Yes.
us.
Yeah, the three of us. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there, you want to share a little bit more of the story behind the first song? Like actually when you started writing it, just the journey on that?
I think that one you had almost written most of it yours on your own, hey?
Well,
Like
yeah, I
the
just
structure was
usually
pretty.
play on my acoustic and do the vocals, and then I bring it to these two, and then they make it like really pop and come alive and
Oh, no
make it
way. Oh, that's so
big.
cool.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, and then once they got their hands on it, it just yeah,
Yeah,
it
kind of
You're like,
became
yeah.
what it is now. And
that's awesome.
yeah, like there's a piano solo in it and there's a guitar solo in it. So it really like it's a great song
Mhm.
for our first song because it demonstrates like
Shows
all
everything.
this.
Yeah.
Everything. Wow. So that's interesting, Brandy, that you mentioned that from an acoustic, which that's awesome that you know how to play guitar. Then after that, it's just Michelle comes in, Garrett comes in, and then you guys work together where you guys involve each other to make this happen. I mean, I'm not saying everyone's like that, but there's certain bands that are just so like, I write it, I tell you what to play and all that. But I feel like it's very important to include everyone to have a piece to bring that masterpiece together. You know what I mean? So that's awesome that you guys have that team mentality.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I could never write something that Michelle, like the way that Michelle writes. I could never write something the way that
Mhm.
Garrett writes. And we all write in our own little boxes. So when we write together, it's just so much more
It's so easy to
expansive.
just like do the same things, but
Yes.
I think like I think Brandy's like a writing genius, right? So
Mm.
it's shit. I knew she was gonna do that, but like it's for me. Some songs like we start with like a part or just like some chords or just something simple, and
Yeah,
really just trying to make something that inspires Brandy, and then something comes out, and then we go from there, right?
interesting. All right.
So yeah, songs come about a couple of different ways, but
Well, thank you for sharing that, Garrett. Now, I do want to get into just a bit of your guys' each story, just a bit about you. So I want, because I mean, we want to know, hey, how did Garrett start with, with his side of his music and Michelle and and Brandy's. So, Garrett, would you like to share your start of your journey?
yeah, I mean, I wanted to play guitar when I was like maybe in junior high and like a teenager.
Okay.
So I had like a really cheap guitar, but I wanted to buy like a nice one. So I like started washing dishes for like no money and saved
What? Wow.
months and months and months and months and months and bought my first Gibson um
Wow, is that right?
when I was like
Nice.
15 or something. And then yeah, I had a really good mentor and guitar teacher at this guitar shop I worked at
Yeah.
in Calgary. Well, I was a student there, and then I ended up just like helping out, and I ended up like learning how to teach from my teacher. And
Okay.
so I would do some lessons, and then basically I would teach for him, but then get lessons for free from him. And so it was like this trade-off.
Hey, that
And
worked out.
yeah, it's like a good way to learn because I'm like
Yeah.
teaching is a way of learning too. And
Right.
so yeah, just
Exactly.
learned a lot that way. But I did never really played my guitar journey was like very by itself for a very, very long time. And
Okay.
then yeah, so really, actually, this is the first band I've been with. So
It's your first? Really?
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well,
Yeah, we
not
split.
bad for starting with the first, huh?
we're doing good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, Garrett. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Brandy.
Um, I started like my first band, I think I was around 17. I
Okay.
put a little note up on a bulletin board at a music shop in Penticton, BC,
Oh, you did?
and I started playing with a drummer and I was just hooked. So ever since then, I've just been
Wow.
playing in bands. I moved to Edmonton and again put out an ad, and that's how I met Michelle and all of the other plethora of bandmates that we went through.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just always been a big part of my life, like whether it's sitting alone in my room and just playing on my acoustic and writing or playing with a band.
What age, thank you for sharing that, but what age did you discover that you were, like, I want to do this with being a singer and then learning guitar? Was it an early age or?
Yeah, with guitar, it was definitely early. I started playing guitar when I was like 14, and then
Oh,
my
wow.
first band around 17. And I didn't sing for a long time.
You
But
didn't?
no, I didn't.
Really?
The guy
Wow.
that I was playing with convinced me to sing because we couldn't find a singer. It was one of those things where it's like, well, you just do it.
Oh,
So
okay.
I started doing it, and then um, it just kind of stuck, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was not a plan. Just
Usually
happened.
that's the best is when it's not the plan because that's when it's for you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so. I think you're right.
I love the fact that you're like, yeah, we're all sitting here trying to find the next singer, and all of a sudden you're just singing one of your favorite songs, and then they all look at you like,
Wait a sec.
whoa, where did that come from? Hi.
Yeah.
Something like that happening where everyone's just like, dang, we didn't know you had that.
Yeah, holding
Search is
out.
over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you, Brandy, for sharing your story. And Michelle.
So I'm from Ontario.
Oh, cool.
I started playing piano when I was quite young.
Okay.
I played for like 5 years, when I was young. And then when I hit high school, I stopped taking lessons. I always had a piano in my house, so I kind of like tinkered around, but
Yeah.
nothing really serious. Then when I graduated high school, I decided that I really wanted to dig into it and just like play in bands.
Yeah.
So I started taking lessons again, but it was ear training. It was like
Okay.
uh, a lot of blues based stuff. So I did that for 10 years and just played in a lot of bands in Ontario. And then when I moved out here, I found Brandy, and here I am.
And here you are. Actually, I've been to Canada. I actually loved my experience. It was great.
Okay, where'd you go?
Vancouver.
Nice.
It was just
Yeah.
for the day though. I went. It was like a while back, maybe like 8 years ago.
Just for
But
the
I love
day.
the fact that when I went, I remember I went to a gift shop and I paid in cash, and then they gave me coins back, and I was like, I forgot, right? So I had that little awkward moment where I'm like, "Where's
Uh,
the other?"
where's
There's
the
like this is
money?
our dollars. I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was embarrassed by that. I was like, "Oops, sorry."
On their knees and
Terminology.
But Michelle, one thing about Canada though is, yes, I'll admit to it, but I'm a huge fan of Anne and Gables. I
Okay.
grew up with
What
that.
time?
My family brought me up watching those films, so I was just like, yeah. So,
As a family, we went to like the house in PEI when we went to
oh,
go.
you did? No way.
As a family.
That's
Afternoon
cool.
tours, right?
Do you have any pictures?
We probably do.
Oh my God.
Oh
I
man,
see
dude,
all
that's
those
awesome.
pictures.
That's so cool. Well, thank you, Michelle, for sharing your story on that. I do want to get into my favorite songs from the group. I
Yes.
do like
Excited to hear what you think.
Two Lips and is it Bento Box?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one I heard was definitely Two Lips. I saw the
Mhm.
ad on Instagram and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's catchy. And of course, after I was been searching, I mean, your music's great, but the one that really like gets me where I want to like sing along is the Bento Box. That one is just different, and I like that. And I feel like that's the one that's more like you're sharing your personal experience from the past, maybe, and that's why I want to get to know the story behind Bento Box. Because as you see, I posted the video as to advertise, but I'm like, there's something about this song that I want to know the story. So whoever wants to share
I'm
about
glad
Bento.
you engage with the ad. I think when like we're running ads on Tulips, right? But
That is such a Garrett thing to
it's
say.
it's funny because like people like comment and there's like lots sometimes hate on them. They're like, this is the worst. And then some people are really
Wait,
nice.
what?
Yeah, but like my point is like they don't know it's just us. Like it's not like we have a big label or
Oh,
right
I
a
see.
bunch of advertising. It's just literally just us
Yeah.
making
Wow.
them.
Well, good job for you guys, just being you.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind Bento Box?
Bento, yeah. So that's a fun song.
It
Yeah, it
is.
is.
It's about love.
Yeah.
I felt that
You write a love
in a
song.
darker way.
What do you pick up from it? You said
Yeah.
a
Well, I
darker.
mean, not in a dark. Well, it just seems like I know you mentioned love, but to me, I feel like you're kind of talking about like a past. You're maybe gone through a breakup, but you're kind of still in love. But you're just like maybe this guy was all about himself, riding his ATV, doing his fun stuff, and you're just like, yeah, but you were always doing that, and what about me? Like kind of like that's all you've been doing, just hanging out with your guy friends and but then you never really spend time with me, but I still love you.
I love
Something,
that
something like
interpretation.
that. I don't know. That's my
Probably.
definition of it. But I love it. I mean, it's very catchy. I sometimes even sing along with it when I'm driving because it's very catchy. I like that.
Yeah, I love that song.
It's fun to play live.
Yeah.
I bet it is.
Yeah. We wanted to write a love song and so we just kind of had the Bento Box idea. Yeah, kind of just evolved. Lots of innuendos in that song.
There's a lot of innuendos.
I bet. Oh my God, I would love to see you guys play this live. I mean, that'd be so cool. Now, I do like I'm a filmmaker as well, so I do like I didn't see the whole video. I've just seen what's been on the ad of Instagram, but I do like the shots. I do like what the
Okay.
director was using with Bento Box. How you guys were sitting down, Garrett and Michelle, and then Brandy's just in the corner right there singing. Like that was great how it just moved in like that. And
Yeah, that shot with the where we're on our phones or something.
yeah, you're on your phone, and then Michelle is like
Totally
looking
disengaged.
away. Yeah, I mean. That's so cool. Did you guys have the idea to do that, or was it more the director who was leading on that?
We kind of just winged it.
Just winged it?
We did all kinds of shots that day.
Yeah, the guy we worked with, the videographer, he was
Yeah.
really great. Like he just kind of, yeah, he would give us some direction for sure, and then we'd
And our
have
manager
ideas.
helped out, and like he has a good eye for like shots, so he'd be like, stand over here, do that.
Yeah.
We kind of just improvise, and
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing it all ourselves, right? So we kind of just have to figure it
Pretty
out.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I'm really happy that you guys are so well advanced in what you did on your own. You know what I mean? That you're not having a big crew, you're not doing all this like label stuff. I mean, it's just you guys, but
And
it's
yeah, it's all our own
Yeah,
power
that's
and
impressive.
resources, and yeah, it's really fun and rewarding when it goes well. Like
Yeah.
lately, we are seeing people listening, and there's new people listening in other countries and stuff, a lot in the US. And so it's like nice to see people engaging, or when we see their comments, or
Yeah.
even just you reaching out. And yeah, like for many years when you're just getting going, your songs are out there, but they're not really getting listened to. And now,
Right.
once a couple start getting listened to, everyone listens to everything else too, and it's really feels a lot better. We just know it's being shared, right?
Right.
It's hard to get people to listen. It's the music industry is so vast and
Yeah,
big.
and there's
It
so many,
is. Yeah, I agree.
there's so much power. Like all the labels have so much power, right?
Oh yeah, you're just such a little guy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, you know,
Where
just
we can be found, and hopefully people like something about what we're doing, and yeah, then the songs are theirs, and they can listen to them as many times as they want.
like me. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I actually want to say that with like advertising you guys the past few weeks, almost a month, I noticed some of my friends are already following you, and they weren't doing that before.
Oh, cool.
I was like, well, that's cool because as I'm promoting your guys' song, it is catchy. It's very well written, great music. You know what I mean? So a lot of my friends are musicians as well, and they know how to really write good songs, but they're following you guys. And I'm like, well, that's cool because they noticed your guys' work and they're like, wow, like where are they? You know?
We
So
appreciate you sharing
oh,
us.
no, yeah, no problem. I'm a huge fan, guys. Yeah.
Thanks.
But I'm sorry to ask again, and sorry if I'm going too much about this, but was there any more story pertaining to Bento Box on kind of like the real story behind it? The song?
What is this podcast rated? How explicit
Yeah.
can we get here, Joshua?
Hey, we keep it
That's
raw. It's
beautiful.
the real stuff. Yeah.
The real stuff?
Well, I
Okay.
mean, to a certain extent. I mean, we're not gonna talk some ways that's
But
like,
editing's for
but I mean,
Yeah.
just be real. Yeah.
So it's about oral sex.
Oh,
About
is it?
someone with your mouth.
yeah.
Okay. That's
what
what
we,
the song's based on?
Yeah.
that's what we meant about innuendo.
That
It's like
threw
it's
me
just
off.
Yeah. And so
All right.
it's
So what's
a
the
love
story
song
behind it?
about that very particular type of love.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah, we want it to be like sexy, but like kind of like longing, nostalgic,
Mhm.
Okay.
and just the whole push pull, right?
Yeah. But I love that you had this really, really different interpretation. It's exactly what we wanted. Because sometimes you want to hide things in plain sight. And if you listen to the song through the lens of what we just told you, you'll
Yeah.
probably pick up on some things.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you listening to it just like,
Yeah, and the point is that it's a love song, and so you're like, oh, love lost, or
Mm.
like that's the whole point. Is like, what does that mean? It's like a reflection of you too, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's exclusive news to that, huh? I was not expecting
You
that.
are
That's
the
interesting.
only one we
Yeah.
have told.
Really? I'm the only
No,
one.
I mean, I say it every time we're on stage.
Oh, okay.
but yeah, we don't really. Yeah, we like people to kind of look at them through their own lens, and
Mm,
Yeah, we try to be a little ambiguous, but be specific enough that it's like interesting, right?
Yeah.
that's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that. Now, Tulips is another cool one. Now, that one when you guys are playing at the what arcade games, what's the story behind Tulips?
Phillips is like, yeah, it's hard. I think it's
Yeah, Tulips is a love song as well, but more of a heartbreak
Yeah.
love song. Going through some hard stuff.
lots of loss and grief.
Yeah.
And, um, despair.
Yeah, loving someone who's just not really good for you, which is something that a lot of us do.
Been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, heart wants what it wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even if you know it's bad for you, you still really want it sometimes, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
I'm actually going to get into the next question after that, but I still want to get into tulips. We'll lead up to that. The tulip part with is it the correct me if I'm wrong on the lyrics, something about dancing on my grave. Yeah. So what's the story behind that? Of like dance on my grave, like your meaning behind it.
Yeah. So Dance on My Grave kind of comes from this thought that like the relationship is killing me, but I still want you to be happy.
Mhm.
Uh, as like a really blunt interpretation of that. I thought it would have been funny though to say that it's based off of Saltburn,
yeah.
the graveyard scene.
Oh yeah.
Have you,
Okay.
Saltburn.
have you seen that movie?
No.
Yeah, okay, you gotta check it out.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
No, you don't.
Don't project yourself to
No,
that.
you're-
Yeah. So we'll go with the first one.
Okay.
Well, somebody watching this is gonna know the graveyard scene. They'll know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's like, oh
They'll
gosh.
know. Yeah, they'll know what you guys talking about. All right.
For me, that line's like kind of like, I'm not here anymore, but I hope you're happy that I'm not. And even though like whatever the metaphor is for in the grave, like I
Wow.
want to celebrate and be happy on, even though I'm not there.
That's a beautiful way to look at it
Dang,
too.
that's a deep way. Yeah.
That sounds kind of dark and like,
Yeah.
morbid. It's actually like positive, but that's the whole song is it's kind of that blend between that like joyful feeling of like, wanting and then the sadness of not having.
Wow. Yep. Well said, Garrett. So I actually went through a breakup in November last year, and I guess certain things do stand out to me. I'm like, oh, and that's why a lot of these, what you guys have the songs can really tie in. So there's a one thing about rhythm and roads is that I'm really strong about being real and just knowing that the journey is not always pleasant, especially going through relationships, heartbreak, jobs, certain things that do come in life. But as artists, we use that to write our story to help others, right? So there's a saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I was interviewing an artist yesterday about that, and I mentioned we can wish it, we could talk about it, we could say, "Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that," but if you don't use your faith to put action into it, then it's just there's no results. It's just talk. You're in the cycle of just nothing producing. So I want to get into that point, and whoever wants to share it, or for you all three, it's just when and you go through some heartbreak in your life, and you're just like, it's very hard to get out of that dark hole or certain aspects of not just relationships but experiences that you use your experience to help get these music out, the songs, but like sometimes we don't have that passion. Sometimes you're not inspired. Sometimes you're just like, you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore. I mean, you know what, I need a break. You just have those moments where you just don't feel inspired, but you're still here. You're still bringing out music because you decided that's not going to stop me. I'm going to live the impossible. And you get up, dust yourself off, and you keep going on that road. So, does anyone want to share any, deep experiences that has gotten you out to be where you're at?
Yeah, I think it's so easy to default, right?
Mhm.
To like it's not gonna work or what's the point of this or why
Right.
are we doing that? Or um like there's everything is against you when you're even when you're just creating anything or making any type of art or even
Yeah.
just any pursuit, like there's so much in the world saying not to do it, right? So
Right.
like it has to be a decision because like it's not always easy at all.
Right. I agree, Garrett. Anyone else? Thank you for adding that. Anyone else want to share?
I just want to say I agree with everything that you said. It's very like thought provoking. I think we've all been in that hole.
Yeah.
Uh, and feeling like you have somewhere to put those feelings, like
Hmm.
in music, is a really great thing, something to be really thankful for.
Right.
Um, I think music has been like therapy for all of us,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
whether we're listening or creating. I think it's just the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
In music
Mhm.
all
Sure
over
it
the
is.
world. Like it's very uniting and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just really grateful for it.
And I think our bodies play tricks on us sometimes, right? Like you could
Mhm.
be in the worst mood, like you're saying, like feeling so unproductive, and then you
Right.
make something and you just think it's the worst, but maybe like Brandy hears it or Michelle hears it and like this is really great. And you're like, wow, I thought that was terrible.
Yeah.
But kind of like you have to give each other energy too, right? Like
That's right. Yeah.
you know, you the way you may be feeling may not be reflective of what you're making or like
Right.
what, other people think or so it's just important to keep doing it even when it feels awful. And then when it feels good, it's just like, make hay while you while the sun shines, right?
I think the best music does come from the darkest and
Yeah.
worst of places.
I agree. I agree. Well said. Thank you guys. Michelle, do you want to add anything to it?
No, I think they covered
We
everything.
covered everything. No, that's fine. I do want to add a little bit of my experience real quick, and I won't take much of your time. But last year, I almost stopped Rhythm and Roads because I was not inspired because there's so many podcasts, there's so many competition. And my ex, one thing I'm truly grateful, or one thing that she asked me, the question that why I'm still here doing it, is she asked me, well, why do you do it? And I thought to myself, and I didn't right away say, oh, because no, I had to really think about it. Why do I give my time and why do I ask my guests for their time
Mhm.
to come out of their way to share a story? And I thought about it maybe for a couple of days and I thought, well, because every story, what this is what truly came to me, because every story matters. Okay. And it doesn't have to be the big story ever that's like, oh my God. No, but everyone has a unique journey in this life. We only have one. And it doesn't always have to be like, oh, I'm just going to share the little part of the best success I've had. No, it's like, no, I've been through heartache. I went through a lot. I almost could have died, had cancer, went through this, but I'm here and I'm loving the dream that I'm at. And I remember when I was at that point still of just dragging it and just like, all right. I had an interview and around that time when she asked me, and I remember this interview really just touched me in a way that was like, oh my God. And I remember when I was done with that artist and I closed my laptop, I sat for a good minute because it did something to me. And it lit the spark of saying, that is why I do it. Because his story helped me. His story is going to help someone else. And that's what matters. I don't know who's out there to see it. Just like with your music, you don't know
Yeah.
who's listening. You don't know who's listening. But that person that's going to listen and discover you guys are going to be like, wow, dang, I love them, right? That it just takes that one and then the fire spreads. Same with the story. They see that episode, they see your story, and it's going to spread. Just one person, 10 people, 50, who knows? You'll be like, whoa, I was inspired by what they said, and I needed that. And that's what matters, guys, in this life is that we all have a here to give and also be a light to those that are hurting, they're in dark, because we've been through all that, you
I
know?
think it's easy to forget how much you can give to other people and what it like
Mhm.
everyone knows how it feels to them when something like that comes along and it really
Right.
helps, right? But I think it's really easy to like discount yourself and think that maybe you don't do that for other people, right? But
Right. It's easy to think that way.
it's
It is.
easy not to give your gifts, right?
And that's why there's someone that told me this, a motivational speaker. His name is Les Brown. He said, one of the world's richest places on earth, which is very sad, is the graveyard. Because there were so many people that were so close to the edge of making it. But because there was critics, because there was people not believing in them, they just didn't pursue their dream. They said, you know what, I'm giving up. And they left their life in a different way. And they died without being at that one push. All they needed was one person to be like, do not give up. You got this. And so
Bit of
many
perspective. Yeah.
there's yeah, and that stuck with me because it's true. We're here to inspire and be the lie to others because all they need is that one person to be like, hey, do not give up. I believe in you. You have something. And it's sad because it's true. A lot of people do just give up and they're like, you know what? There's too much critics. There's too much competition. I don't want to do it. But they could have been the next big thing. So,
Definitely a light, Joshua. You're definitely sharing and connecting and giving, and that means a lot
We
to
appreciate
us
it.
and a lot of people. What was the interview? Who was the person that you interviewed that had that impact on you?
it was actually, well, I mean, during prior to that, I had a lot of interviews, right? But it was actually Salvation Army. It was actually one of the directors. He almost took his life,
Yeah.
and he was at his lowest. And he says because he needed help, he says, I heard I'm now a director of Salvation Army, helping others. But he says I went through a dark time where I wanted to really take my life. He was like I was at the bottom, and here I'm like, and here because Salvation Army did something for me. I'm here to help others, and now I'm the director of it. Of course, he didn't start as the director; he worked his way up. But he told me he was like, I was almost wanting to take my life. I was at the lowest, and there's people I've known that have taken their life, and it's sad, because like, what do you get to that low point in your life where you realize there's nothing else to live for, and you can't come back. This is it. So his story is what moved me because the way he explained it, the what he shared of some deeper stuff on the interview. And then when he says, but I'm here, right? I'm here. And it's a blessing to be alive. And I was like, yeah. So I remember I closed it and I just was like, wow, this guy almost took his life. So that's what did. That's the one that did it was the Salvation Army one, which is actually on my playlist. If you look at my YouTube channel, it's from last year, but it's a Salvation Army interview. Yeah. But I mean, him, and then once you hear other ones, you're just like, oh man, I need to buy a box of tissue, man. I need to have one near me because this is like, it
Yeah.
gets too real. It sometimes it's too much, but it's a blessing to hear it because it's just like, wow, you went through that, yeah, and they're open to sharing.
And it's real and authentic, right? And
It
like
is. It
people
really
like
is.
relate to and go through a lot of the same stuff that you think you're alone upon it, but you really aren't, right? So it's really important
Yeah,
to like to speak up because usually people have a lot of people that care about them. It sometimes feel like
yeah,
you don't.
I agree. Well said, Garrett. And there's a song too by John Farman. It's called "You Have a Voice." I don't know if you ever heard it. It's a catchy 80s song, but it's by John
Okay.
Farman. He was like a big
Yeah.
80s singer, but it's called You Have a Voice or You're the Voice. I'm sorry, it's called You're the Voice. I love that song because it's saying you have a voice.
Yeah.
You have a voice. I want that's your guys' goal after this interview. Look it up. John Farman, You Have a Voice. Listen
I'll
to
be
it. It's pretty cool.
blasting it.
Was that?
I'll be blasting it all
Yeah,
day.
please do. It's actually a catchy song. You'll like it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to take much of your time, but I really want to appreciate you guys for sharing just really, that personal journey, Garrett and, Michelle and Brandy. I really appreciate you guys, even your feedback on what I do as well. Uh, your new music, do you have anything you're writing at the moment? Maybe a new album coming out, EP? I was going to say CD, but we're not in that era anymore. I still like buying CDs. I'm like, why not?
Some tapes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or cassettes, right? Yeah,
They're cool now. Everyone wants it.
That's
I don't know how anyone listens to them, but they can have them.
they do. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just finished putting out our EP, right? So we have all of our new music out that's been out for a little bit.
Okay.
So we're working on just like getting that out and supporting it.
Oh,
And
just
then,
okay.
yeah, we've got a few songs that are unreleased, and then we have a whole whack load of songs that we're writing. And
Whack load.
yeah,
Whack little man.
there's a lot. So we're kind of in a writing phase, and so we'll collect those, and then yeah, we'll get releasing again. And yeah, we always love releasing music. It's really fun. So
Yeah, two on the way.
Two on the way, really? Okay.
Two coming at you
Yeah.
someday.
ready to go.
Wait, someday, or is there a certain time frame of when it's
We don't
coming?
know yet. We
Someday.
They're ready to go. Yeah.
They're ready, but
Well, maybe you could bring out a song on my birthday. My birthday's September 2nd, Labor Day
okay.
weekend.
September
Yeah, I'm not trying to put pressure. I'm just saying if it's able, if you're
We'll
able
send
to,
the
that'd be
preview.
cool.
You can let us know what you think.
Are you a Virgo?
Yes. Well, like, should I say yes? I don't know. I know everyone's like, "Are you this?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, it's like, no, but yeah, I'm a Virgo. But
I love Virgos.
okay, cool. Yeah, I'm a Virgo. I'm just like,
Couldn't tell there for a second. You're like,
You a- This
you
is
what? I'm sorry. Oh, okay. That is really exciting. I'm really happy to know that there's two songs on the way. And yes, you have your latest music that's out, which is still awesome. I mean, it's great stuff. Any new music videos in the works pertaining to the songs that are already out?
Hmm. I think we could make something. We don't have anything
No
right now,
plans.
but like,
Yeah.
yeah, depends how things go, right? They're expensive to make, right? So
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So here's one thing, and I'm gonna just we'll end it on this, and after that we'll get into the social media. But I do know someone in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Okay. Now I know it's expensive to travel and all that, but it is also expensive to do a music video.
yeah, it is, yeah.
So this guy, his name is Ryan Robson from Valley Sessions in Las Cruces. He's a very, very well professional filmmaker, director, but he gets people from all over the US, even Canada, that fly to Las Cruces just to work with him to do music videos because he does not charge. He does not charge. I'm not making this up. He does not charge. And
Really?
why? Because he has a really good job. He's well set. He's just like, look, I'm a very humble guy and want to help other artists bring out their music. And what he does, it's like, dude, you don't charge? Like, bro,
Yeah, what are you doing?
that's freaking good stuff. He's like, I don't want to charge. I told my team, I'm like, we're not charging. We just want to help other artists bring their music out. How it goes is you send him a song that you all agreed to want to do a music video on, and then he goes out and searches a site like somewhere in town that matches that song, and he reads and he also looks over your lyrics. That way, the location goes with the music of the video.
I love that.
Yeah,
So,
so he's very about that.
wow.
So where I'm getting at is that I would love to talk to him about you guys, and I feel like he would be so. But the thing is, you would have to go to Las Cruces, New Mexico. So
Oh, it'd be so
So hard to go
terrible.
to Mexico.
It'd be so
Yeah,
terrible
oh,
to have to
no.
travel
wait, what was
somewhere
that?
beautiful.
Yeah.
We love Mexico.
Oh, you like New Mexico?
Or New Mexico. I thought you said
Oh
Mexico.
no, no, it's New
New
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't hear that. I actually haven't been to New Mexico. So
New
Yeah.
Mexico. So Las Cruces is near like Albuquerque, New Mexico.
right.
It's about 3 hours. Las Cruces is near El Paso, where I'm at, El Paso, Texas. So no, we're not. Yeah, it's not in Mexico. It's New Mexico. A lot of people do
I
think
misheard
that.
you. You said just Mexico.
We
Oh no,
love
no, but
communities.
Yeah.
yeah, but I really would like to bring that up to him. I mean, there's no pressure if you guys can. If not, I understand because it is travel expenses, but the quality though is amazing. And he has gotten people from Canada. They fly in. I met some of them. They're like, "Oh, I'm from Canada. I came because I really support Ryan and I'm glad that he's doing this." And hey, you're
Very
getting a
cool.
free music video out of it. You know what I mean? It's like it's really good stuff.
Yeah,
So
I'll have to check that out.
We appreciate any connection. So
Yeah.
yeah, send it our way.
yeah, and there's no rush. I mean, let's say you do want to do this the end of the year and you guys have the funds for that. Great. If there's next year, that's fine. But at least you have that open option.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So, anything you want to say to your fans before we close the podcast here on this episode?
We love all three of you.
Yeah. No, we can see more people listening
Yeah,
and we really appreciate it. And thank you for listening. And yeah, it's just us. So we're watching and grateful.
that's awesome. Thank you. And define you on social media.
Yeah, we've got Selfish Bodies Band for Instagram.
Okay.
We have a TikTok, but we're not really doing anything on that right now. And then yeah, just on all the streaming platforms on Spotify, give us a follow. That really helps us out. Or save a song, add it to a playlist. Just bring it into your life if you can. It really helps, and share it with your friends. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much, guys. Well, I really appreciate you, Garrett, Brandy, and Michelle, for coming on Rhythm and Roads and sharing your journey as Selfish Bodies and just the start of it and everything. You have my support. I'm there for you guys, and let's see what the future holds. But yes, thank you again. And then I just want to say to those watching, please support Selfish Bodies. Listen to their music. It's all great stuff. I love it. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching. This is Joshua Jacob with Rhythm and Roads with Selfish Bodies, and we will catch you on the next episode.